This regular session meeting to order, Caddo Parish Commission. Roll call, Ms. Clerk.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn, Bowman, Baker, Gage Watts, Escudé, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, and Epperson. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, go ask Reverend Darren Jackson to come do the invocation and Commissioner Ken Epperson to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we pray? Oh, gracious God, our Father, how we thank you now for this another day, for the potential and the possibility that this day holds. Pray now that you would bless those who have been given both the privilege and the responsibility of making decisions for those of us who are privileged to live as citizens in this parish. I pray that you would guide them in their deliberation, guard them in their speech, and give them the ability to make those decisions which will redound to the benefit of the citizens they serve. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's all face the flag, render the proper salute, repeat the pledge in unison. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Getting baby? Oh.
Are there any agenda additions? No agenda additions. Citizen comments. Citizens who wish to address the Commission on any issue other than zoning, please fill out a comment card located in the chamber foyer and return to myself or the clerk of the Commission. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes. I do have two. Ms. Makaya. Bubik. Okay, come on up. Okay, you feel that strongly about it, that's fine. The next one is Dr. Darren Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Darren Jackson. I'm 6001 Foxbrook Circle, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71129. Thank you, Mr. President. It is my privilege always to be before an august body like this. And let me first preface my comments by just saying thank you to each of you for the service and the time you give. Certainly, I know it's more than a notion to give of your life and yourself and your service. So thank you to each of you. I want to, though I do appreciate everybody who's here, I wanted to make, Mr. President, two presentations that would perhaps isolate two commissioners, but I wanted to do that today, if I could, for just a moment. I come not just on my own behalf, but on behalf of the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church at 5340 Jewel Avenue in District 7, and it is my privilege to stand in their behalf to recognize two of our commissioners today. First, I want to give a word of congratulations and say thank you for the service that we received from our own commissioner who represents our area in the presence of Mrs. Stormy Gage Watts, who serves as a minister in our church as well as a person who is serving our community. And so we wanted to, on behalf of those fellow ministers as well as our congregation, say to you congratulations for being here and for the work you're doing. And we wanted to share with you just a token that would say to you congratulations on behalf of your church, Sister Stormy Gage Watts.
Yeah, it's unusual.
Wanted to to also say congratulations to our president, who also serves as a deacon and a trustee at the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church. So on behalf of the fellow trustees and deacons and the congregation of the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church, we'd like to just say again that we are proud of the commitment and the time and service given by Caddo Parish Commissioner from District 2 and President of the Commission, Lyndon Johnson.
Reverend Johnson.
Hey.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say we also have a prodigal son in the person of District 5 Commissioner Gerald D. Bowman, who was raised at the Morning Star Baptist Church, and he now is representing his district. He does such a good job of representing his district. He goes to church in his district, and so we thank him for serving in his district, but always having his heart in District 7 at Morning Star. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Notice you didn't get anything, huh?
Come on now.
Oh, that's all now.
Commissioner Williams doesn't have to be here for you to speak to us. Just give us your name and your address.
My name is Michaela Holoback, and I live at 165 Ockley Drive in Shreveport. Hey, Commissioner Williams asked me to come here today and give an update on what's called the Pet Pantry. Pet Pantry was originally begun as an idea from one of the animal committees as a way to help the community as to start what is called a pet food bank. And the Pet Pantry is a partner with the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana, and what we do is collect pet food and donate it to local needy families. And the food helps pets from being abandoned or surrendered to the shelter when their families fall on hard times. And something that we like to say is that anyone can fall on hard times, but no one should be forced to give up the unconditional love of their pet when those hard times happen. And how does our program work? The first of all, a very important point is that the Pet Pantry does not take any money from a government agency. We survive completely on donations. And food acquisition is the first part, and it's twofold. One is donation bins. We have donation bins set up around the area. I noticed when I walked in there was a big box from the food bank that you guys were collecting food for the food bank. What we have set up is something like that. We would take those boxes and then we'll put up a sign, something similar like this on it, and we put them around the city at places like Petco, PetSmart, places like that, Pet Zone, Robinson's Rescue. We just branched out into Bossier City, and people in the community donate pet food into that. Food bank trucks pick up the pet food that is donated into these bins while they're already out on their normal route and bring it back to the food bank warehouse. The second part of how the food acquisition works is that we will hold pet food drives from time to time from ourselves at one of these mentioned locations, or sometimes we will have members of the community hold their own pet food drives. We just had a little girl who, instead of asking for birthday presents for her birthday, she asked for pet food for us. And she collected almost 250 pounds. Also organizations, honor societies, 4-H, that kind of thing, they will have pet food for us. The second half is food distribution. How do we get this food once we get it to the people? It is brought to the food bank and stored in their warehouse on Texas Avenue. We currently have 5 participating food pantries with the Pet Pantry. They're spread out all along the parish. And the food pantries can then order the cat and dog food along with the regular grocery order from the food bank, which is then delivered, or they can pick it up from the food bank. So once at the food pantries, the pet food is broken down into gallon-sized baggies, which is the common way to do this in the pet food bank world. And the baggies hold approximately 4 pounds of food. Our clients can then pick up their pet food once a month while they're picking up their bag of food at the food pantry.
Excuse me,
This-
you about through? You have 3 minutes have expired.
May I have an extra minute, please? I didn't know there was going to be a time limit.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to extend it to additional minutes.
Thank you. Each baggie is then, has a sticker put on it with our logo. So this is what it would look like. The food's put in it, and each has a sticker on it with the logo. It's got our logo and Robinson's Rescue logo. Robinson's Rescue, for those that don't know, provides spay and neutering. So our clients at the Pet Pantry and Robinson's are pretty much the same in one. It's a win-win. If they qualify for us at the Pet Pantry, then they're probably going to qualify for what's called the SNP program at Robinson's, which is free spay and neutering. So it's great. They have a number on here. When I hand it to them and say, hey, here's your free bag of food. By the way, did you know you qualify for free spay and neutering most likely? So the Pet Pantry's mission is to help families in need. We do this by supplying free pet food, who helps pets from being abandoned and surrendered to the shelter. About 7.6 companion animals a year are surrendered to shelters. And because by supplying this free pet food, we decrease the euthanasia rate at our animal control facility, lowers the tax burden on citizens, and gives other animals at the shelter a longer period of time to find their forever home. Everybody wins. We also have a great Facebook page. We're up to 150 likes, and we're getting the word out. Since the beginning of this venture, which started back in the summer, we have given out almost 4,000 pounds of pet food since this started. I work at one of the food pantries every single week. I see who we're helping. I see our clients. I see our clients like Mr. Thomas and his cat Flapjack. And he would have a very, very lonely existence without him. And he thought that he was going to have to get rid of him because his food stamp allowance went down. And because of our program, he's able to keep him. I've had people tell me that they are able to keep their pets now, that they're able to get medicine now because of our program. I've had people break down and cry because they've lost their job and they're kind of at the end of their rope. And then they realize that we offer this, and it doesn't solve all the problems. Just like that bag of food at a food pantry. It's a Band-Aid. That's what we're offering. It's a Band-Aid, but it's one extra thing. Thank you for the update. I would like to pass these out, if I may, which gives some of our donation locations, and it also gives our Facebook address. If you would like to go on there and like
Just pass it over to our clerk on this side.
Here? Okay.
And then he'll pass it around to us.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the update.
Thank you, Ms. McKay.
I have no other calls. We have no visitors.
We have no visitors. We have no special resolutions. We move to communiques, committee reports, administration response to information requests from commissioners.
Yes, sir. President Johnson, we did have one request for information.
Okay.
And today we have as our guests Mr. Nelson and his wife, Marla Hoyas, and Mr. Kelly Wells from the Sports Commission. They'd like to give us a brief presentation at this time. So Mr. Nelson, Ms. Marla, would you like to come forward, sir, and give us your presentation?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, all of you. My name is Nelson Hoyos, my wife Marla, and business partner. We have Thunder Road Raceway over in Gillum, Louisiana. I've got a short presentation. I'd like to bring you all up to date on what is happening in Gillum, Louisiana. I am a two-time NHRA drag racing champion. I have won several awards in my tenure over the last 30 years. As of 10 years ago, we opened up a drag race school called Driven to Win, to actually give back to the community and teach people how to drive responsibly, safely, and for those who wanted to get into racing, to do it the right way. God blessed me with a lot of opportunities to go racing nationally. Our programs through NHRA are administered around the country, and we're proud to have a racetrack right here in Gillum that is got an NHRA sanction to it. As we have moved forward with our driving school, we offer classroom instructions. We offer the opportunity for people to come in and ride cars down the racetrack and also get into our race cars. And so as we were very busy with this school for the last 10 years in Florida, We were looking for a facility to have our own so that we could schedule our own races, have our own programs. We drew a lot of people from outside the country, outside the state, to come to our school, and scheduling was always a problem because we were a leasee we were leasing just time at a racetrack. So that's what brought us here to Gillum, Louisiana. A friend of ours exposed us to Thunder Road Raceway. That racetrack had been dormant, had been closed actually for 6 months prior to us. There was really nothing going on out there. My wife and I came out in February of last year, looked at it, saw the facility, thought it was fantastic. So we looked at all the things, the infrastructure that we thought needed to be able to really get this track to get on the map. And obviously we're 25 miles from the city of Shreveport-Bossier. We're 33 miles from the airport, which is great for egress, ingress. We're right off of the highway, the new highway now 49 on exit 234. It's a half-mile exit from our facility. And of course, we're only 214 miles from Dallas, which is a very important market for us for racing. We're in the Division 4 district. There are 7 divisions throughout the nation. This Division 4 is the largest. It actually is Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi. And now I just heard today, actually, they're branching into New Mexico also. So that means that we will attract, there are 4,500 registered, licensed drivers in our district. And so that means that our facility has the opportunities throughout the year to draw these people in for several races that we're doing throughout the events. As we move forward with the program, last June was our grand opening. We had our ribbon cutting. Some of you all attended. Thank you very much. We had a ribbon cutting. We had our first race. I lured ESPN2 to come in and cover that race. It was a big deal for us, obviously, because it put us and Louisiana on the map again. It exposed everybody that we're back in business here and we're going to go after it. So it was on 2 television shows throughout the season. It was on a national event, NHRA show. So they exposed us here in Louisiana, so that was great coverage for us. During that event, we had also another film crew that, with the help of Kelly Wells and the Sports Commission, we put together a teaser promo that we'd like to show you how we sent this nationwide.
Oh, that's the video.
This venue can hold any size race. The track is a quarter-mile facility. It is actually 4,000 feet long, so it can hold the car that goes 300+ miles an hour here with no problem. And plenty of room to stop the car. Very smooth, very good adhesion, and we can put some fast cars around this property. We have a huge parking area for the rigs and the race cars. It's over 500 feet wide and 1,800 feet long. It's 100% asphalt. With seating capacity for 7,500 people, so we can put a lot of people here on this property. But what really is the gem is that we're only 20 miles from Shreveport-Bossier. Downtown has all of the great eating facilities. It has casinos, it has hotels, we have shopping. It is fantastic at downtown. My background is I was a 2-time champion, NHRA champion. I've raced professionally for Chevrolet and for Ford. I've won many, many races, and so I've been on the other side of the fence. I understand racing. I was a racer. So now as a business owner and a proprietor here at the racetrack, I actually understand what the racers want and need. Marla is a bigger motorhead than I am. She loves racing. We've been involved in racing for many, many years. And she has a financial background. She's actually a forensic auditor, so she's very good with money, and she knows how to handle her people. We have a fantastic staff. We've hired some great people that have real dedication and they really love their work. So come and see us.
I'm really looking forward to some bigger races coming out here, some big bracket races. If we can guarantee the money, I promise you there's going to be people out here. Everybody needs to give them a chance because they're really doing a great job.
I highly recommend Thunder Road Raceway. It's a great facility. Nelson's done a great job on the surface. The pits are fabulous. It's a great racetrack. And hope to see a lot of sportsmen guys out here.
this teaser went out to multiple sanctioning bodies across the country, lobbying for them to come back to us and allowing us to host their races here at Thunder Road Raceway. This did its job very, very well. We were late coming in last year, so we weren't really able to get any races in here from out of town because all the races were given already. We were early for 2015. This year, I'd like to tell you, we've got 71 events in the book this year. We are going to be absolutely busy, busy, busy. Our NHRA race last year, which was the biggest race we had lobbied prior to there and having contacts within, we were able to have 350 racing teams come into town from out of town. We had over 2,000 spectators that came in. Using Kelly's economic impacts, we basically have about $270,000 that impacted the community over that 3-day weekend for that single event. The success of that event gave us, we had multiple world titles that were issued during that weekend. So from that event, we were able to get a lot of other events because now they realized that, hey, we could handle these big events. This is just an aerial shot. We had 260 rigs on the premises. These rigs are all 80 feet long. So we had an enormous amount of people there, which worked out real, real well. Now we fast forward to 2015. We've got all these new events coming into town. Our first event in February 13th, day before Valentine's, the Trip Flip came to town. The Travel Channel contacted us through our driving school. We have a 2-seat dragster that we give people rides in, and they came into town to give a couple from New York the ride of their life. And it happened right here in Louisiana. So we're going to be the opening episode for the 2015 Trip Flip season on the Travel Channel. So that's one of the things that we have. March 21, which is our first live event, a big event, we have the Street Outlaws. This is a Discovery Channel program that promotes street racing, which obviously we're against that. We're trying to tell them not to do that. So we have actually brought them into our racetrack saying, hey, you know what, don't run on the street, come to the racetrack where it's a closed environment and run here. So we have them coming in on March 21, and that's going to be a huge spectator event, and obviously giving us the ability to share the keep it off the streets and take it to the track message. We have several drag race motorcycle events. We have 4 of those booked this season. We have a huge event coming into town, which actually we lobbied for 4 months last year and got it after the day after our NHRA event. We have the PDRA, the Professional Drag Racing Association. That is a national 10-race program that goes across the country that went everywhere except here in Louisiana. So we were lobbying these people heavily. Once they saw the success that we had with the NHRA, they gave us a race. So we will have May 1 and 2, this national race coming here to Louisiana. Their lowest attendance record last year at all their events was 10,000 people in the grandstands. So these people have almost a groupie following that they will influx this city for 3 to 4 days and hopefully get a lot of heads and beds and shopping and everything else that we're doing here. One of the main things that actually sold them on was our partnership with the city. Kelly, his group has done enormous for us, and to be able to go beyond our racetrack and tell everybody, listen, we have great shopping, we have great casinos, we have all these other infrastructures that can help, that's what lured them into here. So we're really excited about this one. During the year, we'll have open test and tune nights, which will, every Friday night, we open it up for our community. Anybody in our community can come and race at our facility for $20. Again, trying to really promote to keep it off the streets and take it to the track message. We're really trying to be a good community partner and give somebody the ability to come to our facility to race. The spectator events, last year we had 2 that we considered large spectator events. This year we've got 8 that we will have as big spectator events, and also we have just signed on a good sponsor for our bracket racing program that we will develop those into great spectator events too. So we have the possibility of having 20 spectator events this year, and by spectators I mean 5,000 and above in the grandstands during that weekend. And these could either be day trippers or it can be overnighters. We have strategically moved these races into a 3-day program, so it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to almost bring those guys that are from out of town, let them come here for the weekend, enjoy 3 days of racing, and then they can go home and do something else. But we have them for 3 days. So that's what we're really trying to push. This year, our 70 events basically we're targeting 100,000 spectators through our doors. We feel confident that we can get that. Last year, we had a little over 20,000 with just a few events. This year, we have these prime events that are coming from outside the area that we think we're going to be able to draw that good number. Again, using Kelly's numbers for economic impact, 100,000 spectators is about a $12.5 million impact into the community. So that number is pretty large. If we take that and even just take that by half, we're still in $6.5 million possibly as an economic impact. If we even took that in half, we're still at $3.5 million for economic impact, which is a good number for what we're trying to do that has never been there. That place has just not been existent for the past 5 to 7 years. So we're really trying to put butts in the seats if we could and really get everybody here excited about coming to Shreveport. Part of our problems, or our challenges, not problems, our challenges is that, of course, the cost of these different races are quite high. We will spend this year in upwards of $750,000 to attract these race programs into town. One of our biggest expenses with the insurances and things are the EMS, the fire department, and also the sheriff's department. Those three components are a lot of money for us during that, but we're obligated to have that. Of course, we want to keep our patrons safe, but at the same time, per the rules, we have to have that. So we're asking the commission if you all would help us in trying to subsidize that cost for us. We are asking for $80,000, which will go back to 100% for EMS, for fire, and for the police force. That will stay in Caddo. We want to obviously impact our community specifically. So we're asking just for some help on that. We can take care, and we will take care of all the other expenses along with that. But we want to ask to see if we can get some support from you all to help us grow from within. In a few years from now, this business will be far better than what it is today. As we have 20 large events this year, we can have 40 as years come. So all we have to do is prove ourselves, and these events will come running to us. We already have 3 events signed for 2016 that we couldn't get for 2015. So we've added numbers already, and we are continuing to do that. So we're asking for your support. I hope that you can see your way to help us with that. Thank you very much.
Okay, we got a couple commissioners that would like to, I guess, ask you some questions.
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Did you say you have a school?
We do. We have our drag race driving school. It is a school based around performance, and we're going to now, I haven't as of yet, but I want to reach out to Sheriff Prater to do some defensive driving programs along with the community. One of our thoughts was to work with them on if they catch a young adult street racing, to basically give them a chip or a something that forces them to come to the school. And if they do, they get waived the ticketing. If they don't, then they get ticketing. What we're trying to do is to raise the awareness of, raise the awareness of illegal street racing is a no-no. We don't want it. We have a great facility that we have, obviously, a completely controlled environment with EMS and everything on premises, so God forbid something does happen, we can reach out immediately to it. We don't endanger anybody by having them run on the streets and hopefully, wrapping themselves around a telephone pole or worse yet, running somebody over. So this school is something that we've relocated from Florida. We were very active in Florida for the last 9 years. We've relocated it here, and this year we're really going to ramp it up heavily to promote all of the things that we want to do in this area.
You have beginner's class?
Yes, we do.
That's all I need to know.
You get in there and go in?
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Commissioner Evers.
I was just down for communication.
Commissioner Bowman.
Go ahead, I defer.
All right, Commissioner Cox.
Weather. Rain, sleet, snow, shine, you run, or does it have to be dry?
No, it has to be dry. We are contingent on the weather. Right now, we're not open. We're actually opening up this weekend is our first open test and tune session. Last year, we only had 1 rain out and 1 cold out the whole season. Generally, we will work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for our events. We have enough leeway that we can either go back into a Monday session to finish an event if we need to, or we can reschedule it for another time.
It's like golf, huh?
Yes.
Okay. The city of Gillum, they pretty well accepted you with open arms, and
Miss Helen has been absolutely wonderful.
wait a minute, there's only one person in Gillum?
That's exactly right. She runs the town, okay? Don't
We have two now.
Okay.
Mayor there, David.
Okay.
We're trying to be a very good neighbor. We're trying to identify the needs of the community, of the city, and see how we can help. Obviously, bringing an influx of people from outside the city. We're trying to fill our hotels, trying to fill our eateries. In Gillum, we have a nice little Main Street cafe there that we're trying to funnel business to them and improve them. So we're trying to share as much as we can, because we know we can't do it all. We need the support of everyone.
Well, I know that the people who had it before you, they were not very good at their job.
Yes, sir.
And they made some bad decisions and brought some bad events out there.
Yes, sir.
Not only racing, but concerts.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't go over very well.
Right.
With your background, I can pretty well say that you don't do that as far as not tasteful events.
We are very concerned with the family unit. We did one thing immediately when we got out there. That place had a small beer garden, which was a pretty liberal place we shut it down. We do not sell alcohol on premises.
That was my next question.
We do not. We're very much into the family unit. We want to eventually upgrade the facility to have a kidscape there, so that families can bring their young adults and have them there doing different things. We're looking to build the community. My racing background, I'm very, very good with the racing programs. Now what we want to do is reach out into the community and see what else we can bring out to that facility. We have 180 acres out there, so we can bring archery, we can bring all sorts of things to soccer. My wife's been doing quite a bit of other things, lobbying for other things to do out there. But yes,
let me ask you this real quick, and then I mean, your background, your wife's background is great. What about vendors? Are you in the market for different vendors? Because we have people from the fairgrounds to vendors that we know travel around town. If you're going to have this many people in there, they can't run down the road and stuff like that. So if somebody had a vendors, could they contact you?
Absolutely. We have actually partnered also with the Shreveport Federal Credit Union. Their incubator programs. Right. We're helping their new businesses expose themselves at our facility. So what we have is a vendor midway, which is right behind the grandstands, next to the concession stands. And what we've done for our own community is we've waived any fees, and we are just taking a small percentage. So if they make money, they're able to pay us. If they don't make money, it doesn't cost them anything. Right. But we're trying to give them a platform in which to expose their businesses. And yes, and we're reaching out to vendors in the area, food trucks, all sorts of things, again, to build a community. I want to provide this facility to where when we bring people from the outside, they get a taste of Louisiana. Right. And I want to make that to where our community is exposed to that.
You know,
and so
that sounds great, because you're from Florida.
Yes, sir.
You know, for
yes,
you
sir.
to find a jewel in the rough is great for not only Caddo, and I know you keep saying Shreveport. Well,
it's Caddo Parish.
Caddo Parish.
Caddo Parish, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's a fine line between us and Shreveport. But if one wins, we all win.
Right.
Whether
right.
it's Shreveport, Caddo Parish, whatever. It's a great deal, because I mean, I'm 53 and we used to race on Williamson Way in Southern Hills. Mm-hmm. Do you have it to where kids who do have cars, are you going to block some days off for them to come out and do their thing, and you supervise them, or somebody supervises them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have, this year we've actually added our Friday night sessions, which are open, test, and tune. That means that anybody can come with anything. You can bring your minivan and go down the racetrack with your minivan.
How do you know I had a minivan?
We have a tech department that will look at the car to just make sure that the car is safe. We have a non-competitive atmosphere and also a competitive atmosphere. And what we've done beyond that is we have several nights throughout the year that we've designated street nights, and that is to purposely track these young adults to keep them from running in the street. I've gone to Clyde Fan, I've gone to the old GM plant, I've reached out to them, And now we're putting together different programs that are going to mimic a street race, but at the racetrack.
Okay.
So that way they can come out there to run and not be running in the street. So
Right.
yes, our street initiative is very big, and that's where we really see the growth potential of the day-to-day business. Obviously, the event part of it is to get the kids to look at these professionals that have, quote, made it, and they want to be like Mike syndrome. Hopefully then they'll say, hey, this is a path I want to go, and stay in school, get an education, be an engineer, do whatever, get involved in racing in different formats, but to present it as an optional way of life versus just go out in the street and hurt somebody.
Well, and my last comment is that, Shreveport's always been known as we don't support stuff when it comes to sports. With the Sports Authority doing what they're doing and going that extra mile with either high school basketball, football, bringing different events in is great. You take racing, and that's a core group. I mean, I grew up with Don Garlitz as far as watching him on TV. Big Daddy. And so I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I would love to help you out.
Thank you.
And see
Thank
what
you. I
got.
appreciate that, sir.
And I'll come out and look at your facility.
Please, I'd love to have you all out there.
We thought that the last guy was going to just blow it up, and
It was close.
yeah,
It was real close.
So, good luck to you. And
Thank you.
Happy to have you in Caddo Parish.
Thank you.
And
Happy to be here. And
if you'll leave us some information as far as each one can get a card or a flyer or whatever.
yes, sir.
Anything we can do, I'll see.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you to all.
Commissioner
Thank you.
Dominique.
The Nelson and Marl, right?
Yes.
I was at y'all's opening event last year, and of course I had a lot of things going on, didn't get to come to any races. Hopefully I'll get to come some in the future, but, and if I'm right, y'all are actually living in the facility?
Yes, we are.
Right?
Yes, we are.
So y'all are permanent members here in Caddo Parish. I think that maybe there was some bad taste with the prior owner, but it seems like y'all really are kicking this off and doing some wonderful things up there. All I've heard is good things and positive things, and that's very good. So
Thank you. Thank
y'all
you.
have my support on whatever we can do. Hopefully we can help you guys out. And actually I know that Commissioner Escudé kind of got all this going with his work on the sports authority. So Kelly, we appreciate y'all bringing them up here, and thank y'all. If y'all need anything, give me a holler, and good luck, and hopefully everything goes great. And
Thank you.
we'll
Thank you very
hopefully
much.
Talk to y'all in the future, near future, okay?
Just to clarify, the previous owners are just our landlords.
Right.
They don't have absolutely nothing to do with our business. My wife and I own the business 100%. We call all the shots. We have all the contacts, so they're just our landlords. They have nothing to do with the business.
Sure.
We like it that way.
Okay.
So just to make sure that you're understanding that.
I understand.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Most of the thing that I wanted to ask has already been spoken on, but I would just like to commend Kelly and Shreveport Sports Authority and everything you do, not just particularly tailored to this particular project, but all the projects you have brought before this city and the parish over the years. I just want to commend you and the board. I had the opportunity to visit that facility several years ago, and I see that now you've made an extreme makeover. America's known now for extreme makeover in a lot of things, bodies and houses and everything else. But I do want to echo what Commissioner Cox said regarding make sure that it represents the diversity and the inclusion of our parish.
Absolutely.
Especially in minority contracting. Oftentimes that gets sidetracked. Hopefully it represents the diversity of our parish, and also minority contract have an opportunity to compete, to be able to provide their services for the event. And we know North Louisiana is now becoming a tourist attraction and a destination. And we need to learn to promote North Louisiana, just like we promote downtown, we need to promote uptown. So I'm very excited about anything we can do to diversify the tourism and the entertainment, especially for families. We need more family-oriented events. And as you said, I like the Second Chance initiative. You get a ticket, get caught, dragged in. Don't send a kid the ticket. Don't put it on his record. Don't put him in jail. Give him or her a second chance.
Right.
We were young. We did all. We just didn't get caught. So let's be realistic. Let's think outside the box. And we've been young. We just didn't get caught. It's not on our records. So hopefully they will be sensitive and compassionate that young people get caught, they make a mistake, give them a second chance. So I really like that, and it's almost like a brother keeper initiative, and that also is a part of a quality of life. Everybody may not like horseback riding, but they might like racing, soccer, cycling. We must have some for everybody in this parish, regardless of our diversity or our racial mix-up. Some for everybody is good. It makes a win-win for everybody. It makes them stay here, make them spend taxes, and it makes people want to come here because we're being so inclusive, not just with our mouth, but with our activities. So I just excited about you coming down. Look forward to working with my colleagues and ensuring that you have a win-win. You make money too, and provide a service for the citizens of the architect, not just Shreveport, but look forward to exciting things you're going to be doing. Good luck, and we look forward to being a partner with you as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Escudé.
Glad to have y'all here today, and happy to hear about your success in a short year. I want to remind everybody that we're not the sports authority. This is the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission. The authority is the old thing that didn't do its job, and our new entity, which we've authored and established, is doing its job. So let's get the words right. And I'm happy to hear Mr. Cox has upgraded to a minivan from that Chevy Vega he used to run.
You should have seen me racing.
Or was that your AMC Pacer? I can't remember which.
It's a Flintstone mobile.
That's what it was. But anyway, I remember when they first came to one of the sports commission meetings, and you know, everybody, I knew what the racetrack was because I was here when it was first done years ago. But guys over in Bossier were kind of scratching their head, and you see this nice looking couple, and they're from Florida, and you're going, okay, you're from Florida, and you're going to move from Florida to Gillum, Louisiana. And not only did they move, they actually live in Gillum, Louisiana. So you talk about getting vested in the community. And so they've embraced it, and in a short year, just had tremendous success. Now, I just have a couple questions. What, like your event, your 10 race, you're one of 10 races for the championship for the, what is it?
Right, for the NHRA Division 4 championship.
I know what that, okay, so that's a 10 race series, and I guess the best man wins the thing out of the 10 races.
Right.
Okay. Commissioner Cox had mentioned something about weather's a factor. If your race is canceled, do they reschedule, or do they?
They reschedule, yes.
They reschedule.
Yes.
So,
normally, what happens on a race, we try to give the Sunday, we open it so that we have a race Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday as a rain date. And if we need to, we'll go into Monday. So our schedule, thank God, is open to be able to do whatever we need to do to make that race work that weekend. So what we have been looking at is obviously how do we keep the people here and not let them go somewhere else.
Right. So that's good. So if you plan for a big event, which you expect to get a large attendance and good media coverage anyway, I'm not talking about local, national media coverage, which this would get because it's a very important race. So you're just not out of luck if the weather bites you.
Right.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing to know. Well, I appreciate that. I think another thing too that helping stimulate the little economy there in Gillum, but more importantly, when you bring people in, we're the ones that just Caddo Bossier are the ones that really benefit because there's no place to. I don't know if you've been to Gillum, no offense, but no place to stay. There's a little place to eat, but they have to come.
One place.
Back here, one place to stay? Your house, he rents a room out in his back, but no, it's a go to eat. But so that they have to come stay here and eat and do all the other things and have to stay in the motel room. So that's a good thing. But anyway, I'm excited for you. I think I'm more impressed the fact that you're living in Gillum. Nothing wrong with Gillum. I'm up there a lot and I love that. But you can live anywhere you want to, and I'm happy that you saw a vision. I think hopefully this track's got a long history. I believe you guys will get it right. For one, you know, being a former champion and a racer, then you get it. You get that end of it. Having the business side down is not necessarily the component for success. You know, there's an opportunity maybe that exists. You know, as the economy's better, to have a flight school and teach people how to fly little Cessnas and all. And I'd love to be a part of that, except I'm not a pilot, so I'd probably be a total failure at it. And I think maybe that's kind of what happened previously. So I wish you all the best, and thank you for coming here today.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman.
Oh, I just wanted to add, you pretty much echoed what I wanted to say, and that's just anything positive that we have coming to the parish of Caddo, it's always good. And also, if you're going to hit the 80,000, make sure you keep saying Caddo.
Caddo, absolutely.
Go ahead, Bo.
All right, well, we thank you for coming
Thank you
today,
very
and,
much.
I know that the chairman of the Economic Development heard your presentation, so I'm quite sure he'll be setting up a meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Now we on communiques. Any commissioners want to talk on that? Commissioner Epperson.
We have a CBO, NGO Appropriation Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, March 16th, 1 o'clock p.m. We've invited all of the recipients that was awarded funding for 2015 to be present. Also, I've gotten together a folder with basically a wealth of information that we may be needing as committee persons to help us do our job. And all the committee persons, if you would get those to him, Michelle. I'd like for you to focus for Monday's meeting on the guidelines for appropriation applicants. Also, you have a specimen of a cooperative endeavor. You have a worksheet from last year's budget, which shows the actual requests from the individuals and what was adopted. And we will be keeping minutes of each committee meeting that we have within this folder, so we can refer back to them once we have our committee meetings. So if you would take these folders home and peruse them, and any concerns that you may have relative to what our upcoming charge is for 2015, let's jot them down, and we'll be able to maybe engage some of those concerns on the 16th. That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Thibodeau.
Yeah, I just wanted to read a statement into the record, and I've given each of you a copy just for your information. This is addressed to Dr. Wilson. I wish to immediately withdraw participation in the Caddo Parish funded portion of the Caddo Parish retirement system. After much research, due diligence, and advice from outside legal sources, I have reached the conclusion that I, as a Caddo Parish Commissioner, am not legally or ethically entitled to participate in this portion of the plan. I wish to continue participation in my self-funded deferred compensation, called the 457B plan, in lieu of Social Security, as I am entitled by the Federal Omnibus Act of 1990. I release all funds plus earnings in my Caddo Parish funded 40A back to the parish treasury. I wish to do this regardless of how our current court case is ruled. And I just want to give each of you a copy, because in this situation, I think what one of us does has some effect on everybody else. So I just wanted you to have a copy of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thibodeau. Commissioner Bowman.
I just wanted to do an update on Animal Service and Welfare Committee. We met on Monday at 2 o'clock, and the main thing that we discussed was the current ordinances related to the use and storing of goats within Caddo Parish. And I think we were very productive, and we'll be waiting and having more information from our illustrious Director Harris, as well as our intelligent attorney, Frazier. That'll be all.
Okay, Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just regret I was not able to be here when Michaela made a presentation remarks regarding the pet food pantry program. And I spoke with her on the phone how successful is the initiative has taken off. I think she says she served over 70 to 100 families with pets. And she also talked about the different locations also in the community. So I'm excited. You know, Louisiana ranks, like we do everything else, last in feeding people and educating people. We have a lot of poor people in our community and a lot of homeless people. A lot of our senior citizens can't afford the food they have. So, and now their companions are their pets. So they have to take food out of their mouth and give to their pets. So now with this program, they're able to feed their pets and themselves. It was an initiative started by Commissioner Bowman's committee, the Animal Shelter Committee, and we all together worked with Ms. Michaela to bring this initiative here. The first ever in Caddo. Secondly, Mr. Administrator, regarding the upcoming event, second annual Caddo Bossier Second Chance Initiative, Pathway to Prosperity. We need to get the word out, because people are calling me. we need to be able to get it out in the media, get it out on the radio, get it out in the churches. Many of the people that go to these churches and live in our community are the ones that need this here second chance initiative. Get their record expunged to be productive, taxpaying, law-abiding citizens, so they can provide not only for themselves but provide for their family, pay taxes, reduce the citizen rate, and going back to the jail. So we are excited. We had over 2,800 people last year. I see some of our partners in the audience that work with us with VOA and Commissioner Eppers and others who helped them and knowing others. And I look forward to, I think Ms. Stormy has an announcement that she'd like to add to that as well regarding a special guest that may be coming. So make sure we get that date out. What is that date again?
April 27th.
April the 27th for the public, April the 27th. So we need to start advertising and getting the word out and make sure that we work with the clerk of court, our Northwest Legal Aid, and others who participated in that as well. So we're excited about what happened last year. We not only want to meet that, but we want to break what we did last year as well. So with all this, thank all the commissioners who supported it by resolution of support. And thank you guys for all the support you've given to that initiative. And it's something that we can be proud of. Because others are modeling their expungement initiative and program and their website after Caddo Parish. That our clerk took the lead in working with our lawyers and making sure that they was informed about the new law. I see our state representative who's part of that, helped promoted that and voted for that, who understands that. And we thank you, Mr. State Representative and others. We thank all the legislators who have the vision, that understand that everybody needs an opportunity. We commend you, and the state did something right. We're excited about that. So let's get the word out, and I'll be meeting in the near future to help market that as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Dominic.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that with the Long Range Committee met today, update was given with regards to the I-49 study that's being done by Parish. So we'll continue to move forward with that, hopefully in the near future. And the second thing I had was to Dr. Wilson, with all the roads and everything, that nothing major happened. I didn't hear anything as far as any road closures in my area or any problems. It seems like that we pretty much were able to move smoothly over the last couple of weeks with the snow and the ice. And, okay.
Highway Department
bridges and everything like that.
Yes, the Highway Department did a great job just responding to it. And they're out there from the start to the end. So they ought to be commended for their hard work and stay on top of safety issues with the roads.
Well, we need to do that. I commend the guys at North Camp and South Camp for all the hard work, because they're the ones actually getting out there and doing the work each and every day.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cox.
Two things. Maybe our guys can explain how they can get I-49 and go in quicker in the city.
Well,
secondly, there will be a meeting Tuesday at noon, upstairs or downstairs?
Downstairs.
Downstairs. It'll be a planning committee for the Louisiana Police Jury Association 2016 convention that will be here next year. We're going to start planning now, so if you would like to attend, and there's plenty of work to be done, and more the merrier. I think we put an invitation out to Bossier and DeSoto. I know I put one out to DeSoto. And we have some other representatives from around the city that's going to be at this meeting. So if any of y'all would like to put some spare time in, more the merrier. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to say thank you to my pastor, Dr. Theron Jackson, for this wonderful award on today. I really appreciate you, and he's the best pastor on this side of heaven.
All right.
Oh, man, and to my church, Morning Star Baptist Church, for recognizing me today. Thank you.
The people at heart.
Yes, they are. And secondly, going after Commissioner Williams on talking about the expungement summit that we have coming up. I had the opportunity to meet Senator Gallo, who is the person who wrote the actual law for the expungement. So I invited him to come to our event on April 27th. He is very interested and willing to work with us on this. So, Dr. Wilson, if you would, please prepare us a special invite letter for him, asking for his presence at our event. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
No other committee cases, moving on to the next.
President's report.
Okay, on President's report, each of you should have received a copy of the legislative priorities for 2015. Please review those so that we can get a final draft, a final priority list out instead of the draft. Just got about 3 pages of requests. So please review those so that we can have it for the 13th. Secondly, I would like to thank my pastor as well, Theron Jackson and Morningstar, for this award today. Lately, I guess we've been pretty much under scrutiny about what we do and how we do what we do. And for the church to come and to say that, hey, you're doing a good job, really appreciate that. Thirdly, I would like to commend the Public Works because this morning I got out on Parish roads and they was in good shape. Didn't have much sliding. I seen a lot of ice, but not much sliding. I had to cross a couple of bridges to get to work, and everything was nice. So, commend those guys for working hard. That ends my president's report. Next item.
Next, we move to adopt the regular session minutes from February 19th.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Lynn. See no questions or comments? Let's vote. That passes 12-0.
Next, we move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5464 of 2015, authorizing parish administrator designee to sell the Silver Building.
Public hearing on ordinance 5464 is now open. Is there anyone to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of? This ordinance is now closed.
Ordinance number 5466 of 2015, amend the budget of estimate revenues expenditures Riverboat Fund for the year 2015 to provide an additional appropriation of $19,000 for urban support services.
Public hearing on ordinance 5466 is now open. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of it? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of it? Right. Speaking in favor of.
President Johnson, members of this commission, my name is Billy Wayne. I reside at 6144 Farrington Court, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71129. I am the Executive Director of the Urban Support Agency located at 9051 Mansfield Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71118. We are here today to request your approval of an amendment to restore to us funds that were cut in the amount of $19,000 from the previous amount of funds that we had received in previous years. We had already contracted and contacted our providers for our programs, and we did not learn of the cuts until afterward. So we serviced more than 150 children in 5 different commission districts, and we have been doing this in terms of social etiquette and job skill programming and academic tutoring. So we are asking you to restore those funds that were in our budget in the past, and we're asking you to allow us to continue the services that we have done by providing us the $19,000 for the cut. Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak in opposition of it? Public hearing is now closed on ordinance 5466.
Ordinance number 5467, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for Riverboat Fund for the year 2015 to provide an additional appropriation $20,000 for Robinson's Rescue.
Ordinance number 5467, this public hearing is now open on it. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of? Is there anyone here to speak opposition of? Public hearing is now closed on ordinance 5467.
Ordinance number 5468, to deem property surplus and authorize the sale of surplus property owned by the Parish of Caddo.
Public hearing is now open on 5468. Is Is there anyone to speak in favor of it? Is there anyone to speak in opposition of it? Public hearing is now closed on ordinance number 5468.
That closes our public hearing on ordinances. We move to final passage of ordinances. Ordinance number 5464 of 2015.
So moved by the chair.
Second.
Been moved by the chair, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Comments?
Which one is this?
464, the Selber Building.
Okay.
Stay up. Stay up. Mr. Smith, need you to vote. Thank you, sir. That passes 12-0.
Ordinance number 5466, additional appropriation for $19,000 for the urban support services.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so moved by Commissioner Jefferson, second by Commissioner Bowman. Commissioner Thibodeau.
Yeah, for this one and the next one, I realized that this year we had to cut several different organizations, and I think that by returning these cuts to these two organizations would be unfair unless we're willing to do it for everybody. And I don't think we have the money to do it for everybody.
What?
And that's really all I have to say. I think that if you're going to give it to one, you're going to have to give it to everybody.
Okay. No other comments? Let's vote. That passes 8-4.
Ordinance number 5467, additional appropriation of $20,000 for Robinson Rescue.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Lynn.
Question.
Mr. Button.
Aye.
Commissioner Cox.
Somebody explain this.
Basically what it is their budget was cut by $20,000. They came in, requested additional $20,000 to get it back up to the original $40,000 that they had requested. Went through committee and
So it's basically like the last one, they weren't.
Yes, it's the same.
Okay.
Commissioner Lane, you want to talk?
Sure. In recognition that they are a partner with Animal Services in bringing down the total number or slowing down the increase of total number of animals that have to be picked up and euthanized by Caddo Parish. That's the reason for the support.
Commissioner Bowman.
Ditto.
All right. Commissioner Thibodeau.
Dr. Wilson, are we not doing some spaying in the in our animal control clinic now?
Yes, sir.
And does part of the budget, the animal control budget, go to Robinson's Rescue above and beyond what they get in the NGO?
Yes, sir. We do a voucher program for animals that do not meet the requirements for spay and neutering, like puppies. Will have to go later, and they have a voucher system that they can go to Robinson Rescue and use.
Well, based on that, and the fact that, as I said prior to this, I don't want to be unfair and give it to one or two and ignore everybody else. I'm going to be consistent and vote no.
Commissioner Cox, second time around.
And, I mean, I've dealt with the Animal Services and Robertson for years since I've been here, and, you know, sometimes you just got to say no. I mean, we're already funding them quite a bit of money. If you added it up, it's more than $20,000, I think. What do we give them a year? Close to 80?
Robinson's Rescue? I'm not sure the amount. I just know right now the NGO appropriation has been $40,000.
I'm going to vote no on this simply because of, like Mr. Thibodeau was saying, that you know we had to make cuts to everybody, and some people didn't even get funded over the last year. 2015-16 is coming up. New year, put your funding back in, but I'm going to vote no on this. Thank you.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
How far in advance were the participants notified that they would not be receiving funds for 2015 for their budget?
We usually have to wait until after the budget is adopted in December before we contact any individuals because it's not finalized until after the budget is adopted. And then we communicate with the organizations at that point of what, but all entities, a lot of them contact us to know what has been recommended in the budget. And so most are aware of what's been recommended, but the budget was adopted with the recommended numbers in there. And so we had to wait till 2015 in order to have any amendments to the appropriation that was in the 2015 when it was adopted.
Okay. Also, too, on the application, if you'll notice on that guideline for applicants, it does state that funding, if you receive funding in a prior year, funding for the next year is not guaranteed.
Okay.
So they know that at the outset when they're applying.
That was going to be my next question, because we're kind of discussing if it's fair to just go for these two who have presented their cases back to us. But with that being said, that they know that there may be, you know, there could be a chance that you won't receive these funds. However, I am in support of the animal services to be restored as well. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Baker.
Thank you.
In the beginning, when these first came up, Commissioner Watts, I did bring that issue up, and of course, I won't say it was ignored, but they went back to the NGO committee, and the NGO committee passed it. So, but I did bring that up, is that if we're going to look at these two, we should look at all of them that was cut.
Yeah.
And, you know, fund them too, or whatever, make a decision, but it's out of my hands. But I did bring that issue.
Let's see. Okay, Commissioner Epperson.
Call for the question on the motion.
Second. Motion has been called on, the question has been called on the floor by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Williams. Let's vote.
Voted 3 times already.
So that passes.
2/3, you got it.
Passes 10-12. Now we'll vote on the ordinance as it is. That passes 10-2.
Ordinance number 5468, to deem property surplus and authorize the sale of surplus property owned by the Parish of Caddo.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Lynn. See no questions or comments? Vote. That passes 12-0.
Next, we move to zoning ordinances for introduction by title. Zoning case P215 in regard to ordinance number 5469. Request to rezone property from RA Residential Agriculture District to R1D PUD Urban One Family Residence Plan Development District, Southern Trace LTD applicant. Ordinance. Next, we move to ordinance for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5470 of 2015. Declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator or designee to sell parish's tax interest. Next, we move to the work session minutes. Ratify.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Williams. Second. Second by Commissioner Dominique. Commissioner Thibodeau, you got a question?
Yeah, back when he was reading zoning case P215, that's in my district. I see that. Okay.
Yeah, it really is.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah. You can have. Gonna make those corrections? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Let's vote. That passes 12-0.
Okay, next we move to resolutions. Resolution number 14 of 2015, urging Congress to restore funding for the U.S. Department of Housing and Development HUD program, Community Development Block Grant.
Moved by Commissioner Baker, seconded by Commissioner Williams. See no questions? Vote. That passes 9-3.
Resolution number 15 of 2015, urging Congress to support the reauthorization of Export-Import Bank of the United States.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Bacon, second by Commissioner Williams. See no questions? Vote. That passes 10-2.
Resolution number 16 of 2015, authorize the Parish Administrator and Legal Department to prepare and present a plan for a TIF, Tax Increment Financing District in North Caddo Parish.
So moved.
So moved.
I moved it.
Oh, second.
Seconded by Commissioner Gage.
Touche, President.
Commissioner Dominique.
This is just authorizing them to kind of go forward with a plan at this point.
Right. Yes, that's all this is.
Yep. That's what I'm reading the resolution real quick.
Leave it to an attorney.
You're a little late, Counselor. Should have done your homework.
You'll have a
Oh,
four.
read
I got
Monday.
four. Shut up.
Let's vote. That passes 12-0.
Resolution number 17 of 2015, urging the state legislature of Louisiana to raise cigarette excise tax.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Escudé.
Once again, I'm just going to say I'm not going to support this for several reasons. Can't be everybody's police. None of us are perfect. We're going to wake up one day, you're not going to have the ability to breathe without somebody giving you a permit or wanting to tax it. That's just the way it's going. Remember what Thomas Jefferson said? The nation of sheep breeds a government of wolves. I'm not going to tell the state legislatures about their business, and even if we pass this resolution telling them, please pass the cigarette tax, the governor will not sign any tax. So, you know, if this is just for show, feel good, let us feel good, but the governor will veto this as sure as I'm standing here saying it. Representative Burrell's over there smiling because he knows it too. But anyway, I'm not trying to drag you in this, but you know our governor has been consistent on that. But then once again, you know, I'm not in a position to judge anybody, tell them how to live if it's not harming other individuals about their lifestyle choices or whatever. And just remember, every time you do something like this and you chip away a little bit more your liberty and freedom, you lost it and you'll never, ever get it back. Thank you.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think that it is a great thing to try and to get the governor to look at for us. Anything to put a plug in this deficit that we're facing. And just on a personal note, I think that cigarette smoke is horrible, and that, I mean, if that's your thing that you choose to do, I personally had to watch my father die from lung cancer from cigarette smoke, so I probably could be an advocate. So I'm definitely supporting this.
Commissioner Williams.
Call for the question.
What? Question has been called. Seconded by Commissioner Everson. Let's vote.
Get out of here. Vote for calling for the question, please.
Thibodeau Bowman.
Come on.
Bowman.
Come on, 2/3.
Bowman needs to vote.
Just recall the question.
That passes. Now we'll vote on the resolution.
You know you want time. Sit down.
Do that again.
Can we vote?
Yeah, vote on the resolution.
Are we doing it again?
We're voting on the
Okay.
resolution.
Is it Gerald?
Bob was laying on the alcohol.
That passes 7-5.
Oh, goodness.
We have no new business.
Before we adjourn, I do want to recognize State Representative Roper Rail sitting in our meeting today. You want to say a word? Got a word you want to say?
Yeah, you open the door, bro.
I mean,
Hey,
gonna be excellent.
Mike, recognize me.
Thank you, Mr. President, officers, commissioners, and staff.
Go ahead.
Oh. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to come down. I don't get a chance to come down and talk to you very often unless you're having a meeting and you're asking us to look at some things for the commission. Normally, Mr. Wilson have a sort of a cherry list that he sends to the state each year. And I want to commend the commission because, you know, I watch different bodies of government and I know we all get criticized. but at the same time, you all must be doing something right. You got some money left over. The city doesn't seem to have much left over, and we're in a deficit. So it seems as though you're doing pretty good. There's some issues. I know that I'm a short-termer right now in my present position. But at the same time, there are several major issues that you all will be involved in, whether I'm here or not. And two of those is the intercity I-49 connection, in which, according to the economic studies, in which I try to push to try to give you all some figures to look at. We're talking about, based on the engineering studies, an additional almost $500 million annual impact that could come into the city. And I want you to take, serious consideration for that. I know that when I brought the issue forward to try to get the study funded, the commission passed a resolution in support. So I'm hoping that you are still in support and will remain in support. I understand the Chamber of Commerce is up in Washington, D.C. now trying to secure money for that project. And I recognize, too, that there are concerns from some people that there will be displacement, but you can always have that. And hopefully we would be able to do it where we will put them even in a better place. The second thing is the passenger rail. I was asked to get involved in that. Probably in the next couple of months, you'll probably be hearing something from the engineers who are doing that. And I think it's sorely needed because based upon some of the things that are down the pike, in which I sort of try to look 5 to 10 years ahead, like our IT infrastructure that we're trying to construct between Monroe and Shreveport, involving CSC, the Computer Science Center. It was bringing a tremendous number of jobs here. I talked with Dr. Geis at Tech, my alma mater, Dr. Bruno at NLU, Central Link. They're all excited about this, and I know that passenger rail will help facilitate that, along with a number of other things. So we have a bright future here. I know sometimes we sort of put our area down, but Shreveport and Bossier has a bright future, and I'm glad that you all are in leadership and hopefully, help to take this forward. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Move to adjourn.
Did you push?
Oh, Mike? Yeah, I did.
Okay. What you got?
Representative Burrell, I just want to say that you and I are probably on the opposite ends of most things, but there are two that I want to there's two that I want to congratulate you for, because I stand with you on your work on I-49 and on Amtrak, because I think the Amtrak especially could bring about to this area, the whole northwest part of Louisiana, Texas, on up and all the way to Canada. Really could be a tremendous opportunity for us. And I think Representative Burrell has taken the lead on that, and I congratulate you for that.
All right. I also want to recognize Ms. Posey for being here today. She's worked with the commission with the expungement program. Okay.
Move to adjourn. I'm out of here, brother.
Mute.
Get out of here, brother.